Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome to the Self-Help Comedy Hour. We're the world's first self-help variety show. We unite the world of self-help and the world of entertainment. Tonight is no exception. We've got a great show planned for you. We have a great conversation with two very talented people who happen to be married. The first was a regular on Mad TV for many years, and is one of the best improvisers in the world, comedy improvisers, great actress, tremendous talent, and a lot of fun to be around. And right now she's on Parks and Recreation. She's been in The Office. She's been in The 40-Year-Old Virgin. She's been in a million shows. Mo Collins. So we're going to talk to Mo, and we're also going to talk to Mo, newly married to a gentleman who has been on a lot of drama, television and film, also a great actor, voiceover actor, and was a regular on The King of Queens and many other films, many other shows. Alex Skuby. So we're going to talk to Mo Collins and Alex Skuby. They're married and they're here together. And there's a lot to talk about. I don't want to go on with it. I'm going to get right to the interview, actually. But I have a hard time being present, and this has never been evidenced in a greater way than the fact that Sunday night is going to be the finale of Breaking Bad. And I'm up to the end of season 2. And that's a big problem, because I was invited to see the finale at someone's house, and I really want to see it, but I'm not there yet, because I don't want to know the end before I know what the other 4 years are about. So that really is emblematic of the story of my life. I can't be where I am, and I don't want to get to the end. So that really is what tonight's show is all about for me, and it will make sense as you listen to the interview and what the incredible journey of Mo Collins and Alex Skuby right here on the Self-Help Comedy Hour with Ed Crasnick. Sit back, relax, listen, enjoy. I think, though, before we go to the actual interview, we always have a song that we like to play, and tonight is no exception. Because these two people met dating, this is a great sort of a date song. It's an old-school date song, and it's from a terrific movie called Flirting, with Noah Taylor. If you ever get a chance, look up the title Flirting. It's a great movie. It's actually got a young Nicole Kidman in it, and Noah Taylor, Australian movie. But the song is called, I think it's called With a Girl Like You. And let's listen to it right now. The song is With a Girl Like You, and then we'll be back with Mo Collins and Alex Skuby. This is really something, because I don't think I've seen you since the night that you were on my show. I really don't think I've seen you.
That was like 6 years ago. That's when we first got together. That was like 3+ years ago.
I know. It
wow.
was a long time ago. I haven't seen you. We've communicated, but I haven't seen you.
That's 2 years.
I know.
Yeah, that's 2 years.
Because that night was really something.
It was. Yeah. I was there. I was in the audience.
You were there. Mm-hmm. That was something else.
Yeah, it was.
And I tell you, well, I should say, I'm sitting with two terrific actors.
Okay.
Is that true?
Until they get here, I'll be talking.
Until they get here.
Enter
no,
self-doubt.
You guys are amazing.
Oh, well,
you're terrific actors. And you both
I agree. Hey, I agree.
Well, sure.
Yeah, you're right.
And you both have a range of things that you do. You're both really different, but you found each other.
Yes, we did. On the internet.
You didn't find each other on the
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. Okay. It was on.
We signed up for this website the same day.
Yeah, it was nerve.com, right? And I was out of
Let me clarify for people.
We're married now, so she can
apparently do this. There's a dirty nerve.com profile as well. That was not
that was not this.
There's two. We were on the good, decent one.
But I got to tell my side of it real quick. I was out the night before at this bar on Melrose, and one of my buddies was like, "Oh, you got to go to Match.com or something." And this other guy that I'm friends with was like, he pulls me aside. He's like, "Dude, don't go on Match.com. Go to Nerve.com." I'm like, I've never even heard of that. What the hell is that?
I've never heard of it.
No, me neither.
Yeah. I don't think it exists anymore.
So I went to sign up, and I was all like nervous and weird. I felt like I was like, this is weird. I've never done this before, like online dating.
Yeah.
Signed up, like next day.
I hot listed them.
She hot listed me.
Yeah, I went
Didn't even
on-
know what that meant. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, there's a wink and a hot list. All right.
A
Okay.
girlfriend that I, respect told me about this site. She said there's decent people on there. I half-assed a profile. It was just
Now,
like,
what do you do? What's the half-ass profile?
half-assed was just sort of, look, life's a roller coaster. Sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. You want to take a ride?
It's a good
respond.
ride.
My picture, you can't even, most people
Real
have,
good ride.
Most ladies have like their tits up and their, the photo from
You had
above.
your tits up.
No, I didn't. I was in the distance with a hat on, so you couldn't even see I had long hair, and I was fishing. So
That's right. I like the fishing
and
picture,
I had
though.
an I Heart Life T-shirt on.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Who's going to click on that picture?
I thought
think
the
it's great.
sexiest part was your bum knee.
And my bum knee was out. My big scar on my knee. Yeah, that was my picture. You couldn't see my face.
She showed it all.
Yeah.
Mine was some
Ass
friend
chaps.
like superimposed me into an astronaut helmet,
Yeah.
and that was one of my main pictures.
Now, what?
Yeah.
So
She digs astronauts.
what is it now? So what happened? Like, how did this? It's like I look at you, and the last thing in the world I think is they met on an internet dating site.
Well,
That's
the
how they
funniest part
met.
is we knew people.
Mutual people.
And
Made it
we,
okay.
yeah, like we had
Right?
friends. Like one mutual friend was Stone Street.
Eric Stone
Eric
Street.
Stone Street.
He's on Modern Family.
He's on Modern Family now,
Oh,
yeah.
sure,
But
sure,
he was one of our mutual friends, and I had known him for years, and she had known him through her cousin Jerry. And we couldn't imagine, like, when our first date was at like Cat and the Fiddle, and I was so nervous. I did like 3 shots before she got there. I
Yeah, I
tried to
didn't know
hide
that.
it. I couldn't. And then
It was a week after I had hot listed him. We had
Yes.
never talked on the phone.
nope.
So what I didn't know is this crazy, awesome, sexy voice came with it.
Wow.
That
You
was
just-
a
See
shocker.
that?
You had a picture.
You see that?
You didn't know a voice.
Right,
He
there
was in an astronaut
You see
outfit.
that?
You thought you were dating Buzz Aldrin. You didn't know who it was.
I just
Maybe
thought
he's been to the moon.
I just thought he could take me to the moon. Right?
There you go.
Ooh.
No, he had interesting pictures. His profile was interesting. And so I like I said, they had a little, they all have their little things like on FB. This was hot list. So he got my hot list. So he emailed me back and
We pretty quickly found out that we were
couple
both actors and
exchanges.
stuff and whatever. I remember the first time I was talking to my sister. This is after we had gone out a couple times or whatever. I'm like, oh, I'm dating this girl. She's great. She's so awesome. And she's like, oh, yeah, what's her name? I said, her name's Mo. And she's like, Mo, I'm like Mo Collins. My sister goes, oh, my God. She was Stewart's mom on Mad TV, and I'm like, and I never really watched Mad TV. I just didn't. My sister was like a huge fan, and I'm like,
His
really?
honesty is part of the reason why you love him.
And I'm like, really? And then of course she just had to show me all her YouTube videos.
No. No, I
That
did
is
not.
so
But yeah.
funny. But it's like,
It was
where
meant
were
to
you
be.
in your life? Where were you in your life where you
Certainly
meet?
not.
like
I
that?
certainly wasn't out at the bars where I was going to meet somebody. Do you know what I mean? And nobody, when I was out, they were intimidated by me, and so it was pretty. I was divorced for a while.
I was
coming out
getting
of a-
divorced, and
Yeah.
I've been separated for a while, and I got 3 kids that live on the East Coast,
And I
which
have a
kind
son.
of, and she's got a son.
So we're parents trying to find somebody.
But had we met younger or earlier, it wouldn't have worked.
Would not have worked.
Would not have
No.
worked.
But how? But what emotionally makes you ready? Like, why are you emotionally ready at that point and not?
Your heart's open at that point. I mean, it's just like you know what you don't want.
There it is.
That's what it is. It's like I was married, she was married, and I guess the learning curve there was that I know what I don't want. End of story.
Yeah.
So that's what makes you ready, because you see red flags. If you start dating and you're like, whoa,
Well,
no, that's what I don't want. You know what I mean? So it's
One thing about us both too is that we're very actually monogamous people,
yeah.
and we also want a partner. We don't want to be alone.
I'm old school, man. I'm
Yeah,
old school.
we're both old school. It's
You know?
just we both happen to be in marriages that failed, but we still believe in monogamy and marriage and partner and that
Yeah.
whole thing. So it was pretty much
Sounds like a
kismet.
cult. Sounds
It
like
does,
you're talking
right?
about a cult. Like,
Yeah.
Like, oh, hell.
Would you
Jesus.
sign right here, please?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So when we met, it was fun. It just felt real kismet, because when
I
we
have
saw
no idea
each
what that
other,
means.
meant to be.
Meant to be.
Okay, good.
We saw each other. We laughed hard for 10 minutes when we met.
Yeah, we
because it
did.
was, we already knew each other. Do you know what I mean? For the thing that couldn't stop going through my brain was, that's what you look like. So that's what you look like.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, that's what you look like.
Wow.
Like the one I've been waiting for. It's like, that's what you look like.
And
I'm
this is
looking
what it's
at
going to
him,
feel like.
And
Yeah.
we just laughed for
Pretty wild.
10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, we
like,
did. We laughed
uncontrollably.
And then we
pretty
made
cool.
out at that bar, remember
That's
that?
pretty cool.
Yeah, kissed me at the bar.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. It sounds pretty effortless.
It was.
It was.
That was the thing. It was effortless. There
That's
was no
a
like,
great word
oh,
for
I
it.
gotta, sometimes like if you're dating or something, you feel like you have to put on this mask or a facade
Well,
just
sure.
for a piece of it anyway.
Sure.
Just to kind of come across as everyone. But it was because, 40, you're in your 40s and you're just like, oh, whatever, man. It's like, it's
Yeah.
gonna be good or it's not. And it's like, at that point, you're like, fuck it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, it was easy, and it really did feel like I loved walking next to him and holding his hand and looking up and going, I've been waiting to be here.
Yeah.
So great.
And you know, like when you're in your
It's that feeling.
20s, you're like, oh my God, I gotta shave my balls before I go because what if. You know what I mean? It's not that I ever
He
did
doesn't
that.
have
I
to
never
shave
did
his
that.
balls with this lady. And when I say lady, what I mean is I don't shave my balls either.
Well, this is a great commonality to have. And I want to explain something to you. This is a garage. We're over a garage, and we have a segment called Who's Coming In?
Okay.
And what it is the garage will open, a celebrity will go in, and then the door will close again. And we don't know who it is, and the audience at home has to guess.
All right. All right.
I have the clicker in my pants, and so
Okay.
I do things, and then the garage opens.
So
and
that's the
closes.
clicker in your pants.
Okay.
No, I'm happy to see it. That's what it is. No, so let me apologize for that. It will be the first of many apologies. In fact, I have an apology policy that I will put down, that I will sign with my lawyer. No, all right. Anyway, but your life. But now we have this meeting, and then everything is effortless, and then we get into something else. Then something else happens. It's not
Oh, yeah.
effortless.
You're right.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so now we get this effortless beginning,
Yes.
and now there's something that's not effortless that comes up. And what I'm going to do, if it's okay, and if it's not, we won't do it. But I'm going to play a clip for the listeners,
Oh, sure, yeah.
and the clip is going to be. We're going to go back to the theater from a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
and the night that you made an announcement.
right.
So we'll go back. We'll play this clip for you at home. Listen to this clip. This is Mo Collins on a show that we did a long time ago called Acting Out, and Eddie Pepitone is there, Taylor Negron, Moon Zappa, and a great therapist named Mickey Solomon. And there's an audience there, and this is what happened.
What else is creating the good feeling in you?
I've had something enter in that has put perspective on everything. So
Can you share it?
well, I guess so. I will. This is very new. And so I keep wanting to put this into third person, but I have cancer. And so this is new, and it's perspective. It's new. It's been the last month of tests and, being poked and prodded and some shit figured out. But we got it figured out. We know what it is now.
Have revealed something really important. I also hear you say that you don't want to make it too real. That somehow or other, is that correct? Did I hear you correctly?
Yeah, it's like I'm keeping it in the day of just sort of like, well, where do I go? What do I do today?
Mm-hmm.
It's all you can do is a lot of that. And by the way, I don't recommend farting in an MRI. It's tight.
I met a man with
It stays there, and they have headphones. Yeah.
So if your cancer was somehow located here, right this minute, what do you want to say to it?
You're not the boss of me. You're a son of a bitch. You're a piece of fucking putty. And as soon as we do some things, we're going to come in, going to pull you out, going to turn you into a punching bag.
That's. Now, do we dare to have you reverse roles with the cancer and see what the cancer says back? Or should we leave it alone? I really want to leave this up to you.
Well, but I can make it say what I want it to say.
Anything, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Let's see.
You're a son of a bitch, and I'm going to turn you into putty.
I know. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no meaning. I'm sorry I came into your space. I'm just going to get out of here as soon as I can because you are so much better than me. I'm just going to find myself in a toilet somewhere and be gone.
I keep thinking that you've shown up for some purpose. What fucking purpose do you have in coming?
Well, because you keep laying there like a lazy ass. Why don't you just get off your ass and do something with your life? You wanted something to do, I gave you something to do, so don't completely discredit me.
Well, I want you to know that since you showed up, I've been doing more than I've ever done in my life, and what I'm doing is actually real. It beats the hell out of anything I was doing before, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Is cancer ever that sweet?
You're wonderful.
You know, that's the best portrayal of cancer I've ever seen in my life. I've never
I was
seen
going to say the nominee for tumor.
But I'm sorry, but imagine Sally Field in that.
They hate me. They really hate me.
Mo Collins, everybody. Can I just say, thank you so much for coming here tonight.
Okay, so that happened that night.
Yes, it did.
Now, how did this whole thing affect your relationship? Because you're still building a relationship at this point.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's, we highly recommend that for anybody that's considering marriage.
Yeah.
No, truly, it's like, all the, it's like we went to the end of our marriage at the beginning.
Right.
In a lot of ways, the things that many, older couples or whatever, like they eventually come to where one is compromised with their health.
Right.
And so you really see what the other person, you see what both people are really about. Really about.
Really about.
Really
But
about.
again, you see it at a time when you're still building a relationship.
Yeah, it was scary because that was just shy of a year of being together, so yeah, we had 10 months of bliss, and then this news comes in, and it's like,
Well, I gotta say,
he could have ran.
I just had buried my mother from cancer, and I had left Los Angeles to go. I was basically living with her, taking care of her because she was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
She was 59.
Wow.
And so she had. So okay, let's cut to that. That was miserable, horrible. 11 weeks she died from diagnosis, and she died. And she was young. So then that happens, I go through a year of just, because she was like one of my best friends. It was my mother, you know what I mean? Of
course.
And
Yeah, they were close.
real close. And then so that all happens. I'm out of my marriage now. I come out, I meet her relatively in a short period of time. And we're together 10 months, and then she gets the big C.
Right.
And I gotta tell you, on my end, I was like, I give people cancer.
Well,
as sick as that sounds, I was like, I give people cancer.
This thought enters your mind.
Well, it did. And I played around with it for a couple of weeks. Like, oh my God, this is horrible, But it was a nightmare because psychologically, and then going through what we had to go through with the tests, and then setting up the surgery, and then the chemo and all that stuff. That was crazy.
Yeah, but you the entire way, all he kept saying is, I'm with you. And he really went and proved that a week before surgery. He, scared the crap out of me. He came to the bedside early one morning, and I thought something was wrong, and so many things had been going wrong that I was like, oh God, what now? What now? He's sitting there, he was shaking, I'm like, oh Lord, he's gonna leave me. What is this? What's happening? He's gonna go, move back East Coast. What's happening? And he proposed to me.
Switcheroo! Look what I did.
Switcheroo.
Wow.
Yeah, he was nervous because he was proposing to me.
No, I was. Oh yeah.
Which
because the last time I did that it didn't work out so well.
Yeah.
With my
But I mean, talk about. But this is a week before going into a surgery where there were a lot of questions that weren't going to be answered until the surgery.
Right.
Until I was gutted.
You didn't know.
We didn't know what I was
No,
going
we
to
had no
wake
clue.
up
Whole
to.
range of stuff. Right.
Whole range of
Yeah, it could have been. It could have been.
possibilities.
Yeah, it
and
could have been real
and
bad.
a week before that, he says, I'm so in, I'm so with you that you are going to wear this ring, and this is proof, and this is happening, like this is really happening, and that this is also life extending beyond this occurrence.
Right. That's a very it's a very unusual story, is what that is.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that this happens, but it's not the usual thing.
No, it's
No.
not. No.
So now, okay. So you're married. Recently got married.
I know we got married
3 months. Yeah, almost 3 months. Yeah.
June 22nd.
Yep.
3 months, but you've been, it sounds like you've been together ever since you met.
Yeah,
in a
3.5
way.
years. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's not a. But you were like,
We're
that
always
was
together.
it. That
Yeah,
was
we're
it.
always together.
It is. We are always.
I mean, literally,
together.
always together.
So you love each other.
Literally, always together.
We don't like to be apart at all. We don't.
I understand.
We really don't. We don't like to
Well,
be
that's
apart.
great. Well, that's great.
Yeah, if he goes to an audition, we get
Yeah.
sad. We can't
I
wait
know.
to see each other again.
And if I book the Hawaii gig,
It's trouble.
10 days in Honolulu.
Well, you talk to your people and get your little wifey with you. That's what you do.
Wow.
In my
Wow.
book. Have you read my book?
Get me with you. It's the
I don't have to read your book. You tell me your book.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
You read a chapter to me every night, honey.
It's
I?
not.
No, I
It's,
love
it's
it.
a book. It's not a book on tape, even.
No,
The book is right there.
it's
It's
right
an
there.
open book.
Yeah.
Well, so all of this stuff is going on now. How do you balance the marriage, the career, how you take care of yourself, and the fact that you really do like to be together? What happens when you need to be apart or can't be apart, or how do you navigate those things? How do you tell each other what you need? I assume that after going through cancer together, everything else is kind of gravy-ish.
It is, but we still love to be together. So it's like,
Yeah.
she's done a few things in Minnesota, and she was in Washington and
And
stuff.
you've gone, you went for 8 days and did a film.
I went for 8 days and did a film in Chicago and stuff like that. But it's just, it kind of sucks on one end, but on the other end, you're doing what you love to do, so you have to make that adjustment.
Right.
Yeah, we just make sure that if we're going to be gone like that, that it is important to us what we're going where we won't.
It's got to make sense.
It does. It has to make sense to
So-
what we're trying to do.
So you make choices. I mean, this is not the actor's story where, if the phone rings and I'm in a cemetery, I'm running to the audition.
I've never
now.
done that. I've never done that with my
No.
career, ever. Like, the thing is like I've left LA a bunch of times to go out to the East Coast. Like, I can't stand it here.
Right.
For a lot of Los Angeles, I hate.
Yeah,
That's a
sure.
strong word, but I don't like it.
Right.
And the business end of it, it's like when I'm working and I'm happy, it's a good business.
Right.
But even then, there's traffic, so I don't know.
Love the show, hate the biz.
Love the show, hate the biz.
Well,
No,
sure.
when after everything we've gone through in the past couple of years, you really learn that quality of life is very important, and so you make choices thusly. It's like I just sort of say big fun or big money.
Yeah.
Big fun or
exactly.
big money. Those are my two. If it doesn't fit into the criteria, I'm most likely,
Or
with
Hawaii.
him or traveling, doing our stuff, or I'm in the studio painting, or we're off on our little road trip, or
Good to know. Really, really very clear boundaries. Really good to know. Two areas. It's either this or it's this. That's very simple.
big money, big fun. I don't have to say yes to everything because I also realize it's very important for me not to stress myself out.
Yes. It's part of
because
taking care of yourself.
It's key.
Well, that should be for everyone too. I mean,
Yeah.
For everyone.
And it's like,
You know.
I still do this chemo pill too daily, and so my side effects that it's like I live with this treatment now still, and so I'm cancer free, but I live with the treatment. It's like, geez, I may as well still have it.
Yeah, every day. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every day.
Now, how long will you be on that treatment, or what is that about?
There's different philosophies to that. Some say for the rest of your life. Some say, there's sort of because GIST cancer is new-ish. It's newly diagnosed, honestly, more since 2001. That's new, and so they're still learning about it. So what they're kind of saying now is 3 years post-op. There's all these variables though. All these variables. If you are low risk recurrence, and there's all kinds of chemical, mathematical, equations that you have to match up for that. Now I personally kind of feel that the 3 years that I do want to go off of it, because I want to let my body rebuild itself.
Because that drug just, you keep taking it, it takes a toll on your body.
Oh, it's hard.
It's a toxin,
Yeah.
So hard.
I know.
So-
But they say without it, there's a 90% chance of recurrence.
Wow.
Nope, that's
Well, your doctor said.
but that's wrong.
But that's what your
Because
doctor
I-
said at UCLA.
I know it, but they were wrong.
Okay.
Sometimes they're wrong.
They were wrong.
Sometimes they're wrong.
They were going off of an old sheet off of that based on like 7 patients.
No, but that was in the first 3 years. I'm not saying
Exactly,
for life.
yeah.
I'm saying in the first
Right.
3 years of taking the drug.
Yeah.
Then if you don't take
yes,
it,
yes.
then the recurrence is 90%. But after 3 years,
After 3 years, it's
then
different.
it's different. It lowers. It goes
Well,
down.
now, okay. So taking care of yourself, can you feel? Are there warning signs like now I'm getting stressed out? I have to do something. Are there techniques? Are there things that you do every day that allow you to be healthier?
Exercise.
Yeah, exercise. Gotten into some blending and juicing and I mean, cripes. I know so much about vitamins and their action, what they do.
But are you a person that sits there? Will you meditate? Is it visual? You don't do that stuff.
I'll try.
You'll try it.
I will try, but I always feel like I'm doing it wrong.
Right.
I do.
That's how I feel.
I don't feel good at it when I'm doing it. And so I judge myself when I'm meditating.
Which is the worst thing you could possibly
do.
do.
I can do.
Yeah.
So here's my meditation is painting, because when I paint, this is the most wonderful thing, is when I paint, I can't think of anything else other than what is happening between my hand, the canvas, the color, whatever is transpiring between the relationship going on between the canvas and me, my brain.
MoCollinsArt.com.
Yeah, so thanks.
Is that So you're doing a lot of painting.
A lot. Yeah. Well, this is my first love. I thought I was going to grow up and be an artist and have like a long gray ponytail.
Wow.
By now.
Wow.
Well, this is long. I wanted to wear a big flowing white men's shirt in my studio with my, Georgia O'Keeffe braid. I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. So that was before.
wow,
that was
that's-
even before.
that's
That was
great.
Aren't you glad I don't look?
fantastic. That was before acting.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. So I've come back around to it as a necessity. It does 2 things. It keeps me from thinking about, my cancer, which I get so tired of thinking but you can't help it. You can't help it. Once you've been diagnosed with cancer, you can't help but think about it. You just can't help it.
Right.
Oh, is it coming back? Is it not? Is that it? What was that? I never thought about my body before like that. I wouldn't have even thought that lump was anything. He made me go in.
Right.
Yeah.
My body, it's like, I was Humpty, I just could rebuild myself no matter what. I
Right.
wrecked myself and I'd be up the next day.
Right.
But this is different.
So you live with it.
I
You
live
live
with
with
it. And I don't want to. So that's an escape, because I can't think about it in there. And I also can't think about how my career is failing. Do you know what I really can't, but I'm being creative, so it's fulfilling that too. It's like, screw Hollywood. I'm a creative person, and I'm going to create, come hell or high water.
Right.
I'm not going to wait for you to call. You're not calling. I go out and I do things, I improv and whatever. I'm here tonight. I'm a creative person. I'm not going to. This is what I do. So I just find it.
And so there's a flow to it, and it's not like when it doesn't look a certain way. It's not like being creative is not only one thing.
Yeah.
It's how you live.
It's
how you live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have fun days too. Like, tell about the our board days of unemployment. The building day. Tell about the building day.
What building day?
When you built the bar.
Oh, I built the bar. Wow, we had scrap wood in the backyard, and I was so bored that I built a bar.
But you
It's the
couldn't
most
leave the
amazing
house.
bar you've ever seen.
Decided to build a bar.
But you can't
So I
leave
built
the
a
house.
bar.
You couldn't go to.
You couldn't leave the house. There
Yeah.
was stipulations. You couldn't go to a store and buy wood. You couldn't go buy nails. Whatever. It had to be what was at the house.
Whatever you could. Yeah.
Thank God we had all the
Found
tools and
objects. Like a
nails
challenge
and everything
show.
else that we needed.
Yes.
It's like a
Yeah.
reality show,
But it was a reality show,
Yeah.
but a real reality show.
but a real one,
But there
unscripted.
too, just the
Yeah.
need to be purposeful
Yeah.
and creative and productive.
Yeah.
Like we're good together that way. Like I think that's one way why we're together too. is
Well, we're a
'cause-
good team.
We're a
just
good
say
team.
it. I mean, you don't have to beat around the bush.
But we find stuff to
Say
do.
it.
Yeah.
In this
Yeah.
crazy journey.
But now, will you help each other with acting stuff? Like, will you be
She
doing
was
a
reading
script?
lines with me this morning. Yeah.
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 Because I had a really great audition today, and I rocked it, man. And I want to book it because it's a nice fat role.
Yeah.
Never seen the series Hawaii 5-0, but it films in Honolulu, and it's a guest lead. And
Oh, that's great.
it's a great. I like the detective stuff, and
Yeah.
and that's what
You
it
just-
is.
yeah.
But when you go in now for auditions,
Yeah.
because there's a little bit of a different perspective on it because
Yeah.
of the experiences that you've had together.
Well,
You
yeah.
really don't. They say you don't. I don't know if you were the
Well,
kind
it's
of actor who
grounded.
didn't care before.
Well,
but now.
But the whole thing is, it's funny. It's like I was going through this today. I was, I had to get rid of my agents. I actually let go of an agent that I had for about 6 years.
Last week.
Last week. This is on last Thursday. Who I really liked her and stuff, but it wasn't working. I wasn't getting what I deserve,
Right.
which is opportunity.
Sure.
So I do that, and within like a couple hours, my old manager, who I'm still dear friends with, calls me and goes, "Remember that agent from place we were at years ago?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, he's looking for you. He's now a manager at Bohemia." And I'm like, "Really?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you mind if he calls you?" I said, "No." So he called me, and boom, I went over there, had a meeting. They were great, solid, hungry. They got to be hungry. Your reps have to be hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Within 2 hours of signing with them, I'm auditioning. I mean, I
Boom,
got
boom,
this,
boom.
and then Friday I'm going in for another series. It's it'll be a good part.
Yeah,
Now, are you
seven.
good? Are you good auditioners? Do you guys audition well?
I hate auditioning until I'm auditioning. So the whole process. What am I going to wear? I got to learn these lines. I'm not even. I haven't even booked it, but like, it's painful. Get there. You're in a lobby with all these other actors, and you're looking at them, going, he could do it. He could do it. But I got to keep telling myself that I'm the right choice. So it's like that until I get in the room and I start. Then I realize this is why I'm here, because that's my only chance to act, is to audition, unless I'm working.
Now you're in the room. Do you have? Are you one of those people who goes in and it's like you're gregarious and you're outgoing? Or are you like totally in the part and it's just hello? When do we start?
Well, today was
Because people of all different ranges.
It
of what you
depends,
do.
man. I'm all over the board, because it's like, is it a drama? Am I walking into a room with 10 producers and they're not looking at me and they're just kind of waiting for me to start? Then I'm not going to give them that.
Right.
Because why? They're not. So
Right.
I'll just sink in and go. But if they want to talk and stuff, yeah, it could be fun and whatever. I mean, I had 3 scenes today that I auditioned. After the first one, the casting director turns over the page and she looks and she goes, "Oh my God, look at all these lines I have to read." I'm like, "You?" I'm like, "I'm over here sweating and shaking." I'm like, so it's just like
It's reading the room.
It's just
Yeah.
reading the
You
room.
read it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And do you have that too, Mo? Or you,
read the
well,
room.
you're such a great improviser. I would imagine that you just have that.
If it's allowed.
Yeah.
If it calls for it, by all means, I look for signs of that, because that's my shoe in. which doesn't explain why I've only worked 3 days this year. But yeah, I think I'm a good auditioner. I'm just a victim of Hollywood circumstance right now.
I think she needs someone to push her more. I think she needs a rep to push her more, because right now it just seems just.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
you deserve that.
Yeah, of course.
All the time,
Of
no
course.
matter
There's a
what's going on.
misconception about me.
However,
People think I'm busy.
right?
People that I have worked, and this is no joke, 3 days this year.
Yeah,
It's almost October.
Yeah, that's just
Last year,
I don't know what that is.
I
No, that's
worked
crazy.
3 days twice on camera last year. This is
Yeah, but it's going to
this is
turn
the
around.
truth.
I mean, it's going to turn around. But you have to
It
make
absolutely
a move
will.
too.
But I
Yeah.
So something's not going right.
Also, though, I
What?
think you write your own material. I think you do your own material and film it. That's what I mean, I'm just a crazy guy, but
No, and that is
And that's
so absolutely
it's a viable
true.
option.
And then it comes back to
It
once
is.
again, it's like I'm tired.
right?
Do you know what I mean? I'm 48. I have written a bunch of stuff. I did it. It didn't do anything. And I'm 48, and I'm on this medicine, and I'm fucking tired.
It's
Yeah.
like at this point, you
And
just
I
want to
want
audition
somebody.
and work.
I just want to work.
You don't want to have
I-
to sit down and think
yeah.
about what you're going to do and what
I'll
you should.
try, but it's so much easier said than done.
Well,
at this
somebody
point.
it's somebody that you know, it's somebody that's in your sphere, it's somebody that you know. And it's like no more material. You have all the material you need. You
Oh
have
my
everything
gosh.
you need, but it's
Yeah.
just they have to surround you with whatever you need and let you
Yes.
do what
No,
you
that
need
is-
to do.
If I could, because I can improvise 24 hours a day. What I cannot do apparently is sit my ass down and learn a program on a computers and all of that are not my place.
Right.
I'm just like this whirling dervish of creativity. Like I like to be like that, and somebody else could write it down for me.
Right.
Just follow me with a tape recorder.
Right.
Just give me a topic, have me tell a story, whatever, and the information comes, and then somebody just then structure it into. That's what I need.
There are people that do that.
Where are they?
I
Ed?
know them. I know them. I'm
But
not
see,
kidding.
you
There
know
are
what's-
people. There are people that do
Because
that.
I've had a show
Yeah, no,
registered
I-
at the Writers Guild for about 5 years now,
Right.
called MoFo.
Right.
And it's like just waiting.
Okay.
It's so funny
Well,
that you guys are talking about this because my mindset is so different. Mine is this: I'm just going to go book jobs. You know what I mean? In my thing, because I'm not an improviser. I mean, I did it in Chicago for a couple of years ago, and it's just I like the script. I like drama. I like doing comedy. Don't get me wrong, but I
Right.
like drama. So it's like I'm not going to go out and write a drama and then shoot it because it's not. Internet's all about comedy and stuff. It's all about sketches and kind of
Yeah.
slapsticky.
We talked about
cruise.
this the other day.
Yeah.
You just want them to give you the
Yeah,
script.
I just
Whereas,
want to go
like,
out and rock it and
I
book
want to
it.
be on a show and be a participant of the ideas.
Right.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love contributing ideas and character, whatever.
Yeah.
That's where I feel good. I want to be part of that TV family again. I love that.
Yeah. Well, you're very good at it, and that's kind of where you belong. Part of
Yeah,
that.
I
That's
know.
that's kind of where you belong. But there really are people who do these things, and I know some of them, and I'll
Yeah.
introduce you to them. There
Sure.
really are people who literally help you. You talk, they shoot and
Yeah.
write.
Yeah.
You talk, they shoot and all, and they write it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
Seriously,
great.
I know somebody who does this
It's
every
like a
day.
magic trick.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's good for her and it's good for you.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I mean, but this kind of thing because with the additional life experience that you've had.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're tired and a camera's rolling, you'd be tired. You know what I mean?
No,
You-
exactly.
Be
It's like-
tired.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Because don't be different.
It's very true. It's like because I did Parks and Rec last week, and I had 2 hours of sleep. I went to bed at 10, and I woke up at 12:15,
Yeah.
and because I had an early call.
Yeah.
And I just never got back to sleep because I have insomnia too,
Right.
another side effect. But being tired does not stop me from producing.
Sure.
It just ideas. It comes like I can again, like I can act no matter how tired I am.
Right.
It's for me, it is sitting down and having to figure out where to start
Right.
and to structure and where do you put the paragraph, all of those details put me right back to bed.
Well, somebody else is going to do that.
Yeah, I mean that's
Somebody else. That's not your job.
Yeah.
It's not your job. It's not what you
Send
do.
me to bed.
Not what you do.
It will.
It's not. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not. There, other people do that. You don't have to. You don't have to do that. I mean, really, whether it's Parks and Rec or
Yeah.
something that's created in a different way, that's not what you do.
Because I also get fueled and energy from creating too, if it's in the way that I know how. Like when I go and paint for, 4 hours or whatever, I'm buzzing.
Yeah.
Same way like you'd be after doing, an hour-long stand-up set.
Sure.
You're buzzing.
Sure.
You're pumped.
When you find out how a lot of different people create, it's
Yeah.
very shocking, because you think that you're wrong all the time. You think that you think that there's a rule book
Yeah.
and there's a way to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is how you do it.
Yeah.
When I heard Albert Brooks say that the way he writes a movie is that he does all the characters and does it into a tape recorder, and then he hands the tape to somebody.
Are you
Really?
serious?
That's how he does it. Now he might work with the script
Wow.
after it's written,
Let me
but he
ask-
doesn't sit at a keyboard.
Let me ask
Yeah.
you something. Ed.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This has been rolling
It's a
around
performer.
in my head.
Wow.
Is this what people do to write books too? Is this how everybody now is writing a book? How is it everyone is an author now?
I know a lot of people are authors now, and a lot of people have however you do it. There are people who sit. Look, I know a guy who he's happy to sit in a room and sit at the keyboard,
Yeah.
and he's good at it, and that's what he does. That's
Wow.
how he creates.
Wow.
Now look. Here's Woody Allen. Woody Allen. Is there anybody who is more in their head or has a more screwed up life than Woody Allen, or a more clear creative life? His creative life is completely clear. It's
Yeah.
clear because he knows how he works, and he reproduces that process every day, and
Yeah.
he's happy to do it.
But his personal life may be a little different.
Horrible, crazy, but he's not in his own way in the creative process.
Yeah.
Right.
And he knows how he works, and he's happy to do that.
Yeah.
The same simplicity that you have with it's either got to be fun or money, is
Yeah.
the same simplicity with this is how I create and this is how I work. This is my this
it's
is what
kinda
I
the
do.
same way, yeah.
Same clarity. Same clarity.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
it's in you already. You know how it is.
Oh my gosh.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
And the
Creating is easy for me.
all the other stuff is like not important. It's like those are details.
The
and then you-
details are rough
Other
for this.
somebody
lady.
else does the details. That's what it is.
No, it's great.
It's the details for me, isn't it?
Somebody
Yeah.
else does it. Somebody else films it. Somebody else writes it down.
Yeah.
You look at it after. You participate.
Yeah, once something is put together,
But-
and you go, oh,
but
this
somebody
would
can
work
hold
better
the camera.
here, this
Yeah.
here,
And
like,
sit
I
at the
like
keyboard.
That part too.
Yeah.
People
the
really can do
keyboard,
that.
That's what you need, a keyboardist.
People can really, but I mean, co-create. People do that
For your
all the
band.
time. Yeah. So yeah.
You need
So
a keyboardist for
your
your
keyboardist.
band,
You need Rick
BJ.
Wakeman. You need Rick Wakeman. If Rick Wakeman comes in from Yes, and he does, now look at what a reference that is. For all of you who don't know who that is, go back and look in your encyclopedias, dust them off, open the crate.
Encyclopedias. What the hell is that?
Exactly.
Wiki.
It's not in the thing.
Just go to Wiki.
Yeah, go to Wiki now. That's what I do with my daughter. I show her everything, and I'm on my phone all the time. And she's like, "Daddy, what are you doing?" I'm saying, "I got to find this thing for you." And it's like a YouTube thing. I say, "Look at this look at this Martin Luther King speech," and I'll play her speech, and then I'll do something. Then Joni Mitchell, Chelsea Morning. Okay, we're gonna do it. I was doing this when she was 4,
Yeah.
so she knew all the lyrics to Chelsea Morning. I didn't. It's all in her now. She knows She has a dream, like Dr. King, and she knows Chelsea Morning. Now, if you're going to show somebody something, those are two good things to show
Those are
them.
two great things.
Well, we're all
Those
going
are
to put our
pretty good.
kids in a shrink's office somehow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I know.
I mean,
It's-
I've done
it's
my
great.
damage too.
Yeah, you guys have kids. I mean, I understand. But this creative thing is it's very important because that it's a gift. You have these gifts, and we have to allow them. We have to live like we have the gifts.
Yeah.
You live like you have the gift.
That's all I want.
Yes.
That's all I
Yeah.
want, because that's what I think about and I'm grateful for every day. Is it's like I know I have gifts. You know, I do. I'm very well aware of that.
Or what does Cheryl
And
say? Your
you're-
friend Cheryl.
you are the gift.
Live like you are the gift.
You are the
Right.
gift.
Right.
I
which
like
is-
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I know that, and I keep, you know, especially like with everything that happened, I keep going, well, okay, because I'm a believer in like follow the universal path of, you know, the river, the flow of the river, and I'm just like, well, I know this is true about me. I'm supposed to be doing these things, so when is that gonna start coming into my boat? You know, when is that? When am I gonna like hook that onto my paddle?
Well, but here's
You
the
know what
thing,
I
though.
mean?
But
It's-
here's the thing.
And I go, well, it's got to come soon. Sorry.
No. I'm just saying. It's
Yeah.
like, well, because this goes along with what you're saying. I was complaining for months and months and months that I wasn't auditioning and this wasn't right. A friend of ours stopped over and all he said, he said one thing. It was like, it's your reps. It's your reps. Your representation.
Yeah.
Next day, I was like, oh my God, he's right. Boom. I had to make a change. But the universe is going to work for you, or God, or whatever you want to call it's going to work for you. But you have to just make that one little switch. Just like one little switch, but you have to put forward that energy,
Yeah.
and
Let
then
me ask you
go with the
something.
flow because that is what it kind of. I had
Okay.
a change the other day.
But
Because
let
of
me
that.
ask you something. 3.5 years you've been with me. You think I have not opened myself up and put myself out to where these waves could catch me?
No, no. I totally
Right.
agree with you, and you have.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about right now, though. I think it has to do with a pitch here and there.
Yeah.
For certain things, without being rude about your current. But I'm just saying, it's like there's got to be someone there who has connections and relationships that can push. That's all.
Well, like you
That's all
say,
I'm saying.
sometimes there's a perception too. Like you say that people look at you and they think, well, of course she's working. I've seen her on Parks and I know she's working.
Well, yeah, I did a project for Adam Scott, who works on Parks and Rec. He and Paul Red do these fun little things, and they asked me to do one a couple weeks ago. And they're like, "You're probably busy."
Right.
And I was like, "This will be the second day I work this year."
Right.
I didn't say that to them.
So
but
if everyone else thinks you're
there's
busy,
a perception.
but you need your representation to say, guess what? She's not.
Right.
So let's do
She's free.
something.
She's available.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't care what everyone else thinks.
No,
you are.
absolutely. You have
Yeah.
to. Yeah, absolutely. You need
weird.
better representation
Yes,
for
of
sure.
course.
But all the material that you have, everything that you have, Mo versus Mo, all of this stuff
Yeah.
is useful material
Yeah.
that can be packaged or filmed or people can look at it. Other people can look at it.
Yeah.
And help you to do something with it.
Right.
I mean, because it's great.
Yeah.
The material is great.
Well, she's a comedic genius, and I gotta be straight up. It's like I can't believe she's not working regularly. I mean, straight up, like cannot. And this is not her husband talking or the man who loves. I mean, I'm totally coming at this from just an actor standpoint. I can't believe she's not working as much as she should be. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
I
almost
can't either.
it's almost like foul smelling.
Well, there's something.
It smells like a wet shit. You know
There's
what I mean?
something. There's something. There's a cologne that's like no, but there's. And it's our sponsor. It happens to be our sponsor for tonight. Formerly hot shit, now wet shit. We had the hot shit people.
Hot wet shit.
They were not good. We've got the wet shit people. No, but it's yeah. I mean, I just think we got to find other people to who do those details. That's all.
Yeah.
Who do those kind of things and who are good at it, who like it.
Yeah.
There are people who really are great at that stuff.
Yeah.
Some of
Yeah.
them are directors, some of them are writers, and they just do that stuff. So that's easy to do. That's not hard to do.
No.
You've got your life and your painting and this terrific marriage, and this is and the work is it's gonna be a domino thing. You'll get one thing, and there'll be 1,000 things. I mean,
Yeah.
that's the way
Bring it.
that's the way it's going to go for you. I
Bring
don't
it.
have any doubt about that, and it'll be very
Yeah.
quickly. It'll be very soon. I don't have any doubt about that, because it just you're helping other people. I mean, when people get you on their show, they don't have to worry. They'll have help. You'll
she's a commodity.
bring
It's like-
everything to it.
Yeah.
And you're great to work with. That's the other thing. I mean, there are really talented people, but they're not great. They're not fun to work
I'm
with.
fun to work with.
You're a blast to work with.
Yeah, I'm good to have around. I
Yeah.
keep other people up.
Yeah.
Every craft services, everybody. Like, that's what I say. Like, I really love being part of a TV family.
Yeah.
I love it. It's like
What-
Thanksgiving every day.
What show?
What show?
What's a show? Like you have a regular. You're a regular on a show. What shows would it be? Is it a show that's on now?
Well, right now I'm the cousin at Parks and Recreation, which is really fun.
Okay.
I'm their cousin. I show up twice a year.
Would
But
let's say
would
the
that-
cousin moves in. Is that a show?
Hey, if they want the cousin to come and stay with them, that would be absolutely amazing, because that show is as far as a comedy environment goes,
Yeah.
it's bliss. It's
You like it.
freedom. It's just, it really, really is. There's no egos. It is all about comedy, and that's joyful. If you're making good comedy, it should be a joyful setting.
Right.
And it is over there.
And
It's
everybody,
joyful.
will they let you improvise a little bit?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. I love it. Amy will just say, just keep the camera rolling and let Mo do what she does.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great.
So that feels really good to me, It's like, oh, they're letting the cousin just talk.
Well, she has respect for you because
She
she's an
does.
improviser.
Absolutely. She
Right.
knows.
Amy
Right.
Poehler is an improviser?
Oh my gosh. You silly.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you
Big
being
time,
silly?
Big time.
No, I didn't know what her background was.
She's SNL.
I don't know why I haven't watched that since Steve Martin was on it.
She's from the same world as
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Improv.
Yeah,
That's
she's
great.
A,
I mean,
improv
that's
and
that's
sketch.
she's a good.
that's
She's an
great.
improviser.
Yeah.
So when she
good.
and I get together, it's,
Crazy,
gloves are
right?
off.
No, she's funny. I didn't know. I just didn't know
Oh
what her
my
background
gosh,
was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're cut from the same cloth. Hers is just silk right now, and mine is burlap.
Okay, so there you are. But there you are.
There I am.
You
in
have the
burlap.
TV, but you have
Burlap
but
can
there's
come
a
back.
TV, there's a TV family.
It
It's not a mystery.
Yeah, Fashion Week was just in Milan last week,
It's
and
not.
I saw some burlap on a couple of the ladies.
It's not. Listen, there's a burqa sale.
There
which
is a
is
burqa
coming.
sale.
But I mean,
Fashion Week Iraq.
But listen, they go in and they don't see a thing, but they say, "Good burlap, good burlap, good burlap. Are you buying that burlap? Yes,
Cinch
40 yards
that
of burlap."
40
I
yards.
took- yeah.
40 yards of burlap.
all
That's
she
what we're
needs
buying.
to do is
Nightmare.
belt that burqa, and she is
Oh
good
God,
to go.
amazing what the
She's
world
got
is.
stilettos on under there.
Amazing. There's a whole world under that. Yeah.
How do
Burlap
they
sack.
do it?
Yeah. I don't know.
How
I don't
do
know.
they do it?
I don't know. I don't know how anybody
Why
does
do they
anything.
do it?
When we
Well, they have
when
to.
we
I mean-
when you travel around the world, and I have not traveled enough around the world. It's just like the same perspective. It's the same perspective when somebody who's had a life-threatening illness, disease,
Yeah.
and then you come back from it.
Yeah.
I don't. You have that perspective now.
Yeah.
You look at life in a different way. You've
Completely.
seen the other part.
Yeah.
So, but okay, so there's the family. So you really are there, and it isn't. Maybe it isn't that far to go to. Maybe you are a regular on that. Maybe you are there all
or
the
maybe,
time.
Maybe the cousin, builds a whole different house for the family. Does that make any
I
sense?
have no clue.
It could be.
The cousin's house all of a sudden
The cousin's
is
house.
another
Maybe that's
place
another place to
visit.
go.
It's another place to go.
We're talking a spin-off here?
Look at what Bob.
Is this
Odenkirk
code?
That's
does
exactly
on
what I was
Are
Breaking
we
saying.
talking
Bad.
code right now?
There's no reason that Joan Calamezzo. There's a world around Joan
Calamezzo has a show.
She has a
She
show.
has a television show.
Pawnee
Yeah.
today.
I know. I get it.
Why isn't that a show?
These are great
Well, it is. It's on a
questions.
show.
No, but I mean, why isn't,
Twice a year.
Why isn't that a show?
I don't know.
Maybe that's the show.
Yeah,
But that's a
because-
character, but you can't take that character from
Yes,
the show.
you could.
Could
The creators could.
Well, the creators could, but if they
Sure.
didn't want to and you wanted to do it yourself,
Oh no, I can't do
no,
that.
you can't
no.
do that.
Do
No.
a different kind. But I mean, who
No.
doesn't want to watch? Who doesn't want to watch that show and and what goes on around that show?
I think people would love to
pretty
learn
funny.
more about that crazy.
Well, I tell you what,
lady.
don't do what I did when I was I was on the King of Queens for like 5 seasons, recurred, and I played Mr. Pruzan. I played Leah Remini's boss at the law firm.
Okay.
And after a few seasons, I thought I felt comfortable enough to call the creator of the show at his house.
Yeah.
And on Halloween, I'll never forget it, and go, "Hey, man." He's like, "Hey, who's this?" I'm like, "It's Alex Skuby." He's like, "Oh, hey, what's going on? Like, what's going on?" I'm like, "Well, I have an idea. Like, what if we did a spin-off
Wow.
of my character?" Because I had a great character on that show. I just did, hands down, in my head.
Yeah.
So, and all he says is, "Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I don't really do that anymore." And meanwhile, I'm like, "Really? Because you're the showrunner for this, and you could." But I had the balls to make this phone call.
Well, it's Halloween and you were dressed up as balls.
I was dressed up as balls, and I did it. But here's the
Should
deal.
have said that.
Oh, it's
after.
Halloween.
This
here's the thing.
didn't happen. I was trick or treating.
This is the trick part.
as
Yeah.
balls.
When I was younger, I had those balls. Do you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
They weren't shorn and shaven. And I just let them grow out, And
Yeah.
I did that. Now I felt like a fucking moron when I got off the phone.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god, I
Nightmare.
can't believe I just did that."
Yeah.
But I wasn't arrested. I mean, nothing
Yeah.
bad happened.
Sure.
I did 2 more seasons, so it's like
Sure.
whatever. But
Sure.
it's kind of
Well,
wild.
you never know. I mean, it's every show has a different, a little bit. It's a family structure, like you say, and sometimes, it's just it is the best. I mean, I think there's 2 amazing jobs. There's a few really amazing jobs. One of them is being a regular on a good sitcom where people like each other. There's nothing like that.
Yeah.
That's a crazy job.
Yeah.
That's like you driving in through a gate.
Yep.
Angels are singing.
Go to a parking space that has your name
You go to a
on it.
parking space with your name. You sit in the dressing
Go
room.
to a
There's an
room you
umbrella there if
decorated.
it rains. There's a
Yeah.
paper there, newspaper there. There's a menu.
You picked out your couch. You IKEA'd the fuck out of your room.
It's crazy.
Yeah, but you can say the same about drama though, because dramas. I've had better times filming some dramas than I have a half hour.
Oh, yeah.
Some of the half hours I've done, I'm like, these guys are fucking all too serious, man. It was
There
the
are some like
reverse.
that, yeah.
It was like
Depends on the set.
the comedies
does.
I was doing were more serious than the dramas. The dramas they were goofing off and it was fun. But when the cameras rolled, you settled
Yeah.
and grounded. But it was the vice versa with the half hour. It was like they were all as serious, and then
Oh,
when
yeah.
the cameras rolled, they were like, hey, hey, hey.
There's
Like, they're like,
definitely
"Oh."
some like that, and it's like, oh, you
Weird.
guys, you're making
Real weird.
comedy. Come on.
Yeah.
Real weird.
Lighten up. This can't be. This is not going to be funny.
No, it's hard
Yeah.
to have funny.
It is not going to be funny.
where there's a lot of tension and where you're
Yeah.
scared. Fear
Yeah.
and funny, they can be
And
well.
trust.
If
You
you're
have to
planning it,
trust
yeah.
too. You want to trust your other players.
Well, now what is something that you've done where you? I mean, it's just the time of your life. I assume for you, part of it is got to be Mad TV.
Oh, of
I mean, part of
course.
it is Mad TV.
Oh, of course.
And did you feel that all the way through the process?
Pretty
Pretty
much.
much.
Yeah. I mean, cripes.
Free to do whatever free to do everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you wanna
It's
do?
getting crazy. It's just, and then the audience is right there, and you're getting this immediate love of what you're doing, and they're fueling you even further with your comedy.
Yeah.
It's just they're just craving it and begging you, go further, make us laugh harder, and you're like, oh yeah, try this. You throw some more funny at them, and they laugh harder. I mean, it's the same thing like doing stand up
Sure.
too, where you're like, oh my gosh, they're loving it, and they're laughing. I'm gonna try and make you laugh harder. Take that,
Right. Right.
It's like surfing.
Waves.
And then you let the surf go out a little bit so that they can catch their breath, and then you're like, here I come with another one.
Amazing rhythm. Amazing timing.
It's so fun.
You worked with a guy who I had a little conversation with him, Bob Newhart.
Yeah.
And you work with Bob Newhart, and you did like a sketch for the ages. It's a
great
piece
sketch.
for the ages. Okay.
Very well written
Timing,
sketch. Yeah.
Great job by you. Great job by him.
Yeah.
But you know what he said that was so fascinating? He said, I said, are you stutter or you stammer? He said, I stammer, and here's why. I'm building tension, and then when the audience releases, it's a bigger laugh.
Yeah.
I'm just building tension.
Yep.
That's all I'm doing. When
That's
you
great.
build tension purposefully, the audience gets tense, and then they have this release.
Yeah.
The more the tension, the more the release.
Yes.
And that's it.
You have to. You can't, because nobody can stay up on that laugh. You can't do it.
Right.
It does physiologically. You can't do it.
It's a setup.
But you bring it. It's like the swing set. You know, you have to come back to get higher and higher and laugh harder and harder. You've got to start smaller. It's got to build like that until you're just.
That's it. But to do it to that perfect, I mean, anything that's good has those elements. Now, Eddie Pepitone is a good friend. I work with him a lot.
He makes me laugh.
Eddie Pepitone is a genius.
He's a funny dude.
He makes me laugh hard.
That said,
Hard.
he has a lot of different levels that he can do.
Yes.
And now he's doing them.
Yeah.
See, Eddie's regular speaking voice, his normal speaking voice, he's a very soft-spoken guy.
Yeah.
He can go to that angry and loud and dramatic place anytime he wants
I
to.
knew him from King of Queens. He was dating Amy Stiller.
You're kidding.
Yeah,
You
man.
know
His
that.
Jerry, was on the show, and Eddie used to come by. I used to see Eddie there quite frequently, actually.
Oh, yeah.
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 Oh,
Well,
I knew him. That was years ago. We're talking like 50.
Now we've seen him when we go to coffee.
Yeah, he goes to the coffee place we go to.
Well, he's I think he's one of the best. He's my favorite actor who's a stand-up.
Yeah, he's brilliant.
He's a great actor.
Yeah.
And
I never saw his stand-up until we went to that Hollywood Improv, or what was it called? The Improv? What were the places? Yeah, and that's the first time I saw him, and this was like maybe 6-7 months ago.
She's probably over a year now, to
No,
tell you the
come
truth.
on, really?
Yeah, they are.
Shit.
Well,
Anyway, I laughed my ass off.
Well, Eddie's very unique because he really has great written material.
Yeah.
And he lets himself improvise.
Yeah.
And and when he does that, it's crazy. I mean,
Well,
he's really hitting his stride now.
That's the
great.
best way, because again, you don't know what the room. You don't get some sort of itinerary. Or, the bios on who the audience is.
Right.
You don't know who you're playing to. You don't know what their mood is that day. You have to be in the moment. You have to ride the room.
Did you ever have a time where you were working with somebody and you just got you got so nothing that it almost became comedic, where it was such you keep trying to improvise and they are like denying everything to the point where you can't
like in
move.
an improv
I see that
scene?
a lot at Improv Olympic.
yeah.
I see that all the time.
I
watch it and I'm like,
Well, that happens everywhere.
Yeah.
Of course I've.
Ever happened on TV or in a bigger way? Probably not.
TV. I mean, personally, I've always gotten stuff. I've never looked at another actor while doing. No, that's not true. Actually,
They always.
Yeah.
that
everybody's
is
got
not
something.
true. That is
Or an
not true.
audition or a note.
I
from
can't think
somebody.
specifically right now, but yes.
Ever gotten a note from somebody?
Or a note from somebody that's like, you can't even. You
I-
can't do
okay.
anything but laugh.
Here-
you mean like a
here's
director
my-
giving you a note?
Here's my
Director,
favorite
yeah.
note that I ever got
Yeah.
on set, and it was a sitcom, and it was from the star of the show, who and I'm not gonna.
Oh, I know you're
I'm not
talking
gonna
about,
say
yeah.
his name.
Shit.
The show was about him, like trying to give every part of it. It's a male pattern baldness happening, but anyway. We're sitting at a table.
His brother was a huge celebrity.
Huge celebrity,
Yeah.
and in between,
game.
in
The show was on
between.
ABC, I think.
Was it ABC?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah, they're not on anymore.
No, they got canceled. It was a shitbag show.
Well, nobody was watching. Anyway, the note that I got.
Must have given you the blues.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brothers, does that give you the blues?
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
according to this guy, what he said to me during after the camera went off, I did the line. He goes, "Don't say it funny.
That's
don't say
that's
it.
comedy.
Don't say it.
Don't say it funny.
Don't be funny." I'm like, "Excuse me? Yeah, don't be funny. Just say it." Like, I just wanted to say, well, I can't help but be funny, so you should fire me right now. Which he waited till afterwards to do that, but
Wow.
and yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to say, well, anything next to you that I say is going to be funny. So I guess I should say the same thing to you. You be funny, and then I won't have to be. How about that?
I gotta
How about that?
I gotta tell you this story real quick. I was guest starring on this drama, and I want to say his name so bad, but I'm not gonna say it. But I'll say this: it was a CSI spinoff. So I'm guest starring.
These are fun guessing
These
games
are guessing
on
I
the
games.
show.
love this.
So
This
listen,
is going to be our new segment.
but I'm not gonna say his name. You can't hold me to it. So I get there. It's like 5:30 in the morning. and I'm doing this scene where I'm like a construction guy, and I'm coming up to him because I got to tell him that, look, I don't know what happened, and I can't give away too much because then you'll know what I'm talking about. But all I do is that the camera's on me. No, the camera was on him. The camera was on him for the first shot. And I walk up and I'm giving him all the stuff that I'm, giving him for the scene as this character I'm playing. And he stands up. Now, this is him doing his scene.
Yeah.
And he just takes his sunglasses off.
Oh, Jesus.
And looks at me. And I'm literally in my head going, oh my God, this is horrible. Is he really doing this? This is how he does it?
Yeah.
And I can't go into it anymore, but I'll tell you this. I wanted to give him a note, but I did not do it. But we did so many takes on him that I could not believe that he has a show on TV.
Oh, no, not just a show.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, it's not just a show.
Yeah.
On TV, and this is what he does.
Well,
You're talking as an actor now.
Yeah, I'm
And
talking
as
as
a
an
human
actor
being.
in a scene with him.
Yeah.
In the scene going, I don't believe, first of all, I don't
Yeah,
believe
well-
anything you're saying.
America loves it, I guess.
Well, they get the thing with the
But Duck
glasses.
Dynasty is the number
If
one
you're-
show, so,
If you're a man who wears glasses and then you take the glasses off and cock your head to the side,
That's correct.
you know that something's coming.
Tension.
America-
We're going back to Bob Newhart.
That's right. America knows that something's coming.
Tension.
Now, he's doing it seriously.
Yes.
It's a comedy.
It is.
It's the
I
best,
think that's the
I
best
know.
comedic detective on television.
I know. Oh, you know who I'm talking about.
Without par.
Yeah.
The best comedic. In fact, I wrote something about that. What
Oh.
a great. There's Clouseau, there's the other guy, and then
Yeah.
there's something that rhymes with that.
Yeah.
There's Clouseau.
Yeah, I get it.
And there's something that rhymes with that.
Yeah, exactly. Here was something that one of the people on the show told me that this person said. He said, "When I have the glasses on, I'm Clark Kent. When I take them off, I'm Superman." I swear straight up. That was told to me during lunch while we're shooting, and I went, "I don't ever want you to say anything like that to me again. That is the worst fucking thing I've ever heard. It is horrifying, the things you're saying to me while I'm trying to eat this salmon steak."
Right. This is good salmon, and you're making it into bad fish. I understand. Well, it's interesting. I mean, even great actors. Who's the greatest actor? I mean, if Brando was the greatest actor. In his later, if he was a great actor, if he was in Streetcar and you saw a young Brando on stage doing Streetcar, it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
If you see a Brando from years later,
Yes.
sitting in a scene, I forget what the movie was, and he's actually doesn't know his lines and is peeing in a bucket under the table.
Yeah.
And then the editor cuts around all the crap and makes him look like a genius.
Yeah.
He's got one good take.
Yeah,
out
that's
of
all.
70.
Dude, he used to write his.
Right.
They used to have people write his dialogue in big letters on walls.
Right.
That's what he'd have him write. Like if the camera's facing here, I'm him. On the walls over there in big letters would be my dialogue.
Yeah.
That was his big thing.
Well, it's
Yeah.
it's amazing what people get. I don't know, but
Everyone has their little tricks.
Sure.
I mean, not saying peeing under a table while you're doing a scene is a trick
Sure.
for acting.
Sure.
But there's stuff. You know what I
like
mean?
what is something that I mean, being in dramas.
Yeah. I keep my sides on my lap. I'm dead serious. Like if I'm doing a scene where I'm sitting at a table, and I learned this from an actor years ago, and the first thing I did, I saw him because he had a lot of dialogue in the show I did years and years ago, and it was one of my first times. I was real nervous, because it was my first time on camera, and I noticed that he was on the other side of the table in this scene, and I noticed that he had his, the little sides, how
Sure.
you get the little sides.
Sure.
He had them on his lap, and we'd be sitting there talking, and he'd have his hands here, and then he'd like look down. Even when the camera's pointed at him, he'd like look down, make it look like he was thinking. He'd come up with his dialogue, and I was like, "That is genius." So I've done it a few times where I will, if the camera's here, pointing in a certain angle, and I'm having a hard time with my dialogue, I'll have I'll put it somewhere where I can just kind of, glance down. And I'm thinking, and here's my line. You know what I mean? Why not? People do always.
Isn't it interesting that, again, with the timing thing, there's a real, like, when you pause, people think you're a genius. They just think something's going on.
Yeah.
They don't know what's going on, but
because
it's like,
it's-
oh my God, he's pausing.
Sometimes you're searching for your line.
Well, yes, that is most of the time.
Look
That's
at
for me.
You ever watch Spencer Tracy? Watch Spencer Tracy.
Yeah.
Watch him put his hands behind his back and walk.
Yeah.
He has this Spencer Tracy thing that he
Yeah.
does. You know what he's doing? He's looking for his mark. Doesn't
Looking
know
for
where he
his
is.
Oh,
Doesn't
my
know where
God.
he is.
Oh yeah.
And he makes it look like he's thinking,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he's thoughtful, and he's going to come up with something. He does it almost in every movie. And it was a
Yeah.
known thing.
Well, you know what's funny,
Yeah,
man?
I've
It's
done
like,
that. Yeah.
So, no, I
What do
just want to
what do
say
you-
this is like when when I first started out in the business, one of my biggest problems was hitting the marks technically. To technically be there, and you got to stand there where you put some side. And after a while, I just learned look down. Just look down. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If I have to walk a flight of stairs and land right in front of that door and hit the perfect mark, you bet your ass that when I come up those stairs and I'm walking towards this door, I'm going to look down at least once.
Well, you're also
It's the way it is,
You're
man.
also thinking, like, I think of James Dean, and I think of the things where, for some reason, people think, you get scared, and you think there's a lot at stake here.
Yes.
And I can't be a person.
Yeah.
I can't be real. I can't be human.
real.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of everything that you're
Well,
supposed
so you
to
just
be.
make it easy
Yeah.
on yourself. You could be more real if you're more relaxed.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You
So-
would look down if you didn't know where you were.
Exactly.
You might.
Yeah.
You might.
What you might. What do you do, Mo? What are tricks?
sometimes-
You're such a good. You have the tool belt of the improviser. So you're
Definitely.
There's nothing that can, like, you can't die
No.
because you'll know
I'll
what
find
to
it.
do.
Oh, I'll find it.
Right. So
Yeah.
there's that safety of.
Yeah, I love when something goes wrong.
That's the opportunity.
Because that's opportunity.
Right.
Absolutely. Somebody else messes up their line and I'm right there with something else. Dig it.
Have you? I
All
imagine
the
you've done
time.
that a
All
lot.
the time, every time.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
I love that.
You love that.
Because part of it is that it buffers them too,
Sure.
Yeah. And just, yeah. And sometimes we can actually get through it without stopping, depending. You know what I mean? I'll patch it as we go along.
Now, if you're a guest star on a show,
Mm-hmm.
and something goes awry, you'll do it.
I do some patchwork along the way if I have to.
And people know, but when people hire you now, they know that you'll do that.
The 2 people that hire me a year know that.
Okay, but the problem is here, see, with the 2 people. The problem is here is that when you do drama, they don't want you doing that.
No.
There's no
Right.
improving in drama.
Exactly.
You
Right.
stick to the lines, and if you mess up a line, stop, cut, start over again.
Right.
There's no, you can't, be giving a speech in a drama and then start improvising.
Right.
What
No, of course
You know what
not.
I mean?
Different
But-
tone, different
Right.
tone, different
Different.
tack. Yeah.
No, but there can be paraphrasing
Oh, well,
to
I've
get
definitely,
through a take.
I've
More
paraphrased the
more-
hell out of shit.
Exactly, which I can paraphrase, which is improv anyway. But as long as you're staying within the intention of a scene,
Right.
right? I
But
think a
even-
director would much rather still see the scene come to fruition than stop and start over and waste tape.
But
Right.
even in
You know?
half-hour comedy, though, even in the half-hour comedies I've done, they wanted, these are the lines.
More in multicam. Yeah, it is. It's
Multicam,
very,
it's very strict. There's no
Well,
wiggle room.
the new improv world is single camera.
Well, yeah, your Parks and Rec and stuff's different. man.
exactly,
It's a totally
yeah,
different
like-
vibe. That's
yeah.
cool, man.
And when working in 40-Year-Old Virgin and working
That was
with,
all improv.
so Judd Apatow says what? He says, "All right, we're going to
Judd
do this
Apatow
thing,
told
and
me to.
here we go."
I had read for the part that Jane Lynch got, but he could see that I was good at improv, so he said, "We're doing the speed dating scene. Why don't you show up? Don't know what we want you to play. So just bring some clothes." I'm like, "All right." So I showed up, and all the speed daters. I didn't know what I was gonna do. Had to write a name on a name tag, so I just wrote Gina. And honestly, what happened was they're like, "Okay, Mo, why don't you come in and we'll do one with you?" And I'm like, "All right." Steve Carell says, "Your name is Gina," and I said, and that's in that instant, it was Gina. What's up? And I thought they were going to cut the cameras and send me home because I didn't know. I just kept. like, well, the camera's still going, and now I'm a lesbian, and we're just going to keep going with this. Okay, and I was just digging myself in. I'm talking about tucking your nuts, your balls back, throw a little rouge on, all this stuff. I was just like, I kept going. And Steve Carell, whom I knew him prior to this, so we had a friendly relationship because I've known his wife from back in Minnesota. But I'm like, wow, I'm really in deep now. I'm really in deep. I've talked about his nuts. I've talked, I'm a lesbian. I'm dipping into the heterosexual world as my character, and they're gonna fire me as soon as this take is over. They're being polite now, and as the camera is rolling, that's all that's happening.
Yeah.
This is like all going on while you're doing the scene.
In my head, this
Isn't
is
that
the other.
wild how you can be saying one thing
for
and
real.
thinking the exact other.
Oh, I couldn't
Fantastic.
believe after I said Gina, what's up? They didn't go, okay, cut. That's funny, Mo. Let's start again. But it kept going, and I'm like, I just dug deeper and deeper into Gina.
Fantastic.
Got done. The place blew up with laughter, and I was like, well, okay, I guess that's my character. And then everybody, all the characters, wanted to improvise with Gina, which is what happened then, because all the lead characters. Then I sat down and saw in the extras, of the DVD. They all took a turn with Gina.
That makes me feel weird.
I got my $300 and went home.
Uh-oh.
My
God
$300.
God almighty.
Scumbags.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, that was
great.
There wasn't even a character. So, yeah.
Wow. That's fantastic. Well, that's
Yeah,
great.
that was
and
fun.
I saw you do something, that show Fat Actress
That was improv too.
that could have been, I really liked that show.
What's Fat Actress?
That was Kirstie Alley's show.
Kirstie Alley had this
That was
show,
fun.
and you did something.
That was like
in a-
my series. I was getting a lot of work as a lesbian then. It was kind of like, it's funny. I really did. I really did. It's like Gina, and I think it's because they like this sort of authentic lesbian voice or something. I don't know why this is like the authentic lesbian voice.
That's how my sister's wife talks.
But it's exactly, you just throw a little bit of this in there, and somehow
somehow it becomes.
somehow it becomes.
It's like a whistle with the S's.
Plus I'm tall, so they don't know what to do with that. So it's like, my name is Mo, so it all
Wow.
kind of comes cyclical. But yeah, there was another one. I think that was another lesbian character.
Great. Yeah, it was
And
a jail.
A jail, yeah.
You were in jail.
I had to
Oh, well, there. That makes
flirt with
sense.
her.
Well, now the best to me, there are all these jobs, all these things are great. Doing voice acting for an
Yeah.
animated series or feature,
Yeah,
I can't think of a better job.
it's really fun.
I don't know what a better
I
job
just
would
finished
be.
a video game. I just finished it yesterday. Yeah.
I don't know when there's a
Yeah.
better job. Well, you have a voice. Your voice is like, if you can
Yeah.
say it's 98 degrees and people
Yeah.
will be excited.
Well, I'm the voice of Goodyear tires, man. I do all their TV commercials and everything. Yeah, it's
Give
great.
me a good. Would it be like? And what do they say?
Can I do it?
Now,
Can I
do
do
they
it? No
say
one's
to
gonna hear
you?
this, right?
Do they say
You
to
can
you
do it.
things like? Do you
Well, it's
get-
just
you get-
me. Talking, and then but with a little more passion and stuff. And at the end of all the spots, I say, "Goodyear, more driven." That's it, and I do all the spots. I got that campaign in January.
Great work.
Yeah,
It's the best thing
I did
in the world.
Porsche, Ace Hardware, Goodyear, and then what's the other one? Oh, National Car Rental. But not some. I just did one for them, and then.
But you do this where you get this kind of role, and you say those words, you walk out, and a check comes in the mail.
Well, a lot of checks can come in the mail,
If it's
depending
a
on
national-
it could be a
I mean,
weekly
it's amazing.
thing. It is absolutely amazing, but it's hard to get into.
Yeah.
I have a lot of friends, a lot of talented actor friends that can't get voice agents. They just not, I hooked up with her agent because she was like, "You got to get a voice agent." I'm like, "Nah, I don't know, and I don't want to do that." And she's
Yeah, I
like, "You
was like,
got
"Are
to
you
do
kidding?
it."
You
And
can-
so I
Then
did.
get out.
Yeah, then get out. That's what she was like.
You're
You're
gonna
not
walk
going to
around
do
the
that.
house with that kind of voice, and you're not gonna do anything. And then get out.
Yeah,
I'll
exactly.
have none of it, I tell you. Get out right now and take that pretty voice with you.
That's exactly what she said.
None
to
of
me.
it. I tell you what, I'm getting on the horn right now, and I'm getting you an agent. That's what I'm going to do. Hi, Pat, it's Maureen. Say, I've got this fella. Oh, he's got some pipes on him, he does.
See, that's what we need.
Yeah.
We need to do that. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's do that radio show.
That radio show.
That's the radio show.
There it is.
Right there.
Right in front of us.
Who
And
you
everybody
sound like?
talks
You sound
to you.
like someone.
And you
Oh,
have-
actually, you know what? That's
You sound like that. Who is
It's
that
a little
actress?
Katie
An old
Hepburn,
school
but not-
actress. Oh, yeah.
Well,
what's
it-
her
yeah,
name?
it's
but
just
not
that,
not shaky. It's not shaky. It's very clear.
It's a younger.
well, it's almost honeymooners.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a little Alice like.
Yeah.
It's a little.
Yeah.
Oh no, we gotta do something with that. No, I've got something for that. Honest to God, there's something. Me and Eddie
Well, that's what
Pepitone,
I do.
we have something.
A children's cartoon for Disney.
Yeah.
Which should actually premiere this fall.
I hope they pick
I
it up.
God,
for
I
two,
hope they
man.
do
I hope
because
they go back to work.
I did that last year, which was great because we did 22 episodes or 25 or something,
Yeah.
and I
What's it
started.
called?
I got
Sheriff Callie.
Sheriff Callie.
Yeah.
I got cast as a cow, and this is for little kids.
Yeah.
You know, which is
Yeah.
dreamy, right?
Yeah.
Like just crazy voices, and I'm playing all these animals. You know.
What's the? Do you
But
remember?
this
any-
one now, she's a crane. You know, she works for the newspaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's a crane on the show. You know. But it's so fun because they're like, oh, can you try something for this character now? Do you have anything? And this is pulling right out of my sketch improv background.
Sure.
But I don't have to look like it.
No, I know. It's
Oh,
it's
man.
it's the
And
best.
I can be in my
It's
pajamas.
there isn't a better job in the. If you're a
great.
regular on an animated series,
Yeah.
you can't lose.
It's so
There's
fun.
no losing.
It's so great. I can, show up with the worst of side effects because, like, in the morning I have real bad edema of the eyes a lot.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter when I go and do a cartoon.
I do my Goodyear spots in a thong half shirt and like Michael Jordan like high tops.
This is true.
It's fantastic.
No one knows. You know
Well,
what
I do. Running around looking like that.
well, you know, what does the crane say?
Well, the cranes. You're going to put an eye out with that thong, and it's mine, I tell you. It's my eye.
The crane starts craning. No, it's fantastic. I mean, I love the weirder the voice, the better I like. One time I got called in to do Maya Angelou.
You did?
I did.
Maya Angelou.
I did.
Can
Who the
we
hell is
hear
that?
a little
Who's
bit?
It's not good. It's not that good. Maya Angelou was a.
My great grandmother.
Oh my God! It's kind of like
It was like cranberry. Cranberry. And my great grandfather was.
It's so fun, isn't it?
It's the most fun.
Well, that's
you
why
can
we
have.
used to play with Maisie, my character.
I always told you that
because
Maisie.
I know, but I can't physically play
Right, but
Maisie.
a voice
right
could be great.
exactly. The lights just went out when we started talking about.
I don't know what
Maisie.
happened.
a power outage.
It's my and it's
Oh.
on.
Well,
I'm
that is
sorry,
the-
Ma. Sorry, Ma.
That is law.
Maisie is very wise. What now, Miss Maisie? Let me just ask you one thing. Now you, so you're in the church now.
I am always so far up in the church.
Oh
and
my
you-
God!
And what do you now, Miss Maisie? Now,
Okay.
well, you help the pastor, and I understand you're quite a fundraiser.
Well, the pastor, he helped me. All I have to do is show up. Okay? He do the walking and I follow.
Now, how long have you been going to this church?
All my life. All my life.
I know it's not polite to ask a woman what her
You
age
can
is.
ask me anything. It's all the answers are all in front of you anyway.
That's true, Miss
That
Maisie.
is truth.
Now, now, Miss Maisie, do you watch television? Do you have time? Because you're very involved with the church.
I do enjoy some good daytime television.
Daytime?
Okay.
What would be something?
The price is always right around my house. You know.
Now, the Showcase Showdown, does that have
Showcase
particular...
Showdown, pick a number. You know, pick a curtain. Because that is all what it is all about in life. And you always got to choose one door. And walk through. But you got to choose.
Even if you're a Price is Right model, I assume you would have to walk through.
Well,
Now, Miss Maisie, let me ask you a question. Now, is Drew Carey, do you miss Bob Barker? Because I'm sure that you've seen Bob quite a bit.
Bob Barker will always live on. And, inside my heart, you know. He's behind the man anyway all the time.
Yeah.
Drew Carey all up on the stage, but, you know, that ain't all okay. What was the question?
Yeah, exactly. Now, I think we should move on. Now, Miss Maisie, now there's a show on now that's called Breaking Bad.
Oh, no.
I know you don't watch that show.
No, ain't no, no, ain't gonna be ain't gonna watch nothing about no Breaking, no Bad. Ain't gonna let that crack into my system, okay? Because I got God's shell. I am in God's shell. And I don't want the crackle coming on in.
You don't want the crack to open or come on in.
My shell.
That the crack might come in.
I don't want to crack my shell.
Oh, the crack would come in and crack your shell.
The light of the bed tearing out, pushing in the darkness.
Yeah. Be very difficult for
Difficult.
you. Now, the last thing I have to ask, you've helped to rehabilitate some people through the church.
Faith rehabilitated myself.
Did you have?
I had nothing to do with it. I walk with it, and it walks with me, and it rehabilitates.
Were you ever married, Miss Maisie? I don't believe that I knew your husband.
Well, no, he gone.
Where did he go?
Yeah, that's a good question. Good question.
Maybe we'll have to answer it on our next show.
Well, you get some answers, you know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Miss Maisie, I can't thank you enough.
You can't, but there ain't no need. Okay? I'm already thanked because I'm blessed.
All right, well, now I know you have your own line of preserves now.
All up in the jar.
And I know that you do it for the church. It's to raise money. Can you tell us a little bit? I don't mean like a commercial, but if you were to advertise it and tell people about your preserves, what would it be?
Okay,
Yeah.
Well, you got to get your big tomatoes. And you put them in a jar. And the peppers, too. Because you got to mix up your vegetables.
Don't do one.
Now mix it up, because life is all about the mixing it up and putting them together and letting the juices flow with it. You know?
I think that's a great advertisement because...
Well, I do thank you, Mr. Crasnick.
Well, it's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Always a pleasure. All mine. All mine.
You do know that I'm a Jew.
I do not know that.
Now that you know it, has it changed your...
No.
We're all God's children.
We're all walking. We're all walking the same path. Okay, we come from the same crack in the light, and we're all heading back. We're on the same path, and the river flow with it, you know.
Thank you, Miss Maisie.
No, thank you, Crasnick Jew.
That was wild.
No, I'm going to tell you something.
Miss Maisie smells like Jägermeister and botulism. That's what she smells like. That's what I got from that character.
I'm going to tell you something. That we're doing something with that. You don't have to do anything. You just will send tapes. You can do it in your house.
She's a lovely
woman. I'm going to send
reminds me
you
of
questions.
I love Maisie.
I'm sending you questions. You answer as her.
Okay.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I love
record
Maisie.
It, send me a file back.
She's all good.
It's so easy. This is so easy.
She's all good.
Miss Maisie is like my favorite. It's my favorite character I've ever heard.
Yeah.
She's true spirit.
She's true spirit, and what she says actually makes sense.
Well, I know. In some ways, it's like Maisie is a way of makes it okay for me to say some things that I actually believe are true.
Right, that you might not say otherwise.
Sure.
Right. I got it.
It takes Maisie to say them for me.
I got it.
Yeah.
I love it. I'm not kidding. I'm gonna do a few
That's- I
questions.
like that, yeah.
And I just send it to you, and then you record a file,
Yeah,
like
we
an
have
MP3.
the-
we have
You
the
send
record.
it back to me. You can do it on your phone.
Yeah, we have
We have the snowball. We have a garage.
Okay, you got a
band.
snowball.
It's
You're fine.
Yeah.
Then you send me a wave or an MP3.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna put these things together. We're gonna have Miss Maisie.
Love it.
It's gonna be a segment. It'll be a thing. People will hear it. They
Yeah.
will go nuts.
Love it.
Because there is a part of it that's very real.
I know.
And it's great.
Yeah.
You talk about timing. When you do that character, you're opposite the crane, opposite the one that you were doing before.
Yeah.
Miss Maisie can't be slow enough.
Yeah.
The,
Yeah.
the slower she is, the better she is.
Oh, it's great.
If she's slow and I love, you know what I love too? I love that she repeats everything that you say. She'll repeat like the last word that she heard,
Yeah.
and then fill in.
Not
I think
just
that's
the-
her remembering
No,
what
it's
your question was.
Oh, it's also so you can hear what you just said to me.
Yeah. Do you know what you're saying to me?
You
right?
know what you just
Right.
said.
I love that. If you could animate that.
We talked about that one time, and what did we say? Or we even
That'd
had
be an
just like
interesting
a.
animation.
We had her in a
Rocking
a
chair.
rocking chair. I
That's
think
what
I
came
told
into
you.
my head.
Rocking
No,
chair
you
on a
didn't.
porch.
That just came
But
into my
but
head.
we just we had you would not see me.
Right, you wouldn't see your face.
But you
no.
would see, like nylons in the shoes
the feet,
and the,
the
dress
legs.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And do the talking from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a live. I think you do that live.
Yeah.
And you could certainly film that. But
Right.
I like animated. I
I'm
think the
talking to this.
animated would be
I'm talking to
great.
this animator, and if I can start working
That-
with
that
her,
would work good,
I
huh?
would have her draw it
Because it is really slow, and that is what makes it's all the nuance
Yeah.
of her. It's not just there's a lot of nuance to her that
tremendous.
I-
No, we're
yeah.
gonna. I swear to God, I'm gonna do this. And I know this is still the self-help comedy hour with Ed Crasnick. You really, there's a lot. I just want to say before we go, is there anything? And I would almost do it as Miss Maisie, but no. Is there anything that you would say to people who are experiencing an illness, who may have dealt with or are dealing with cancer or dealing with some kind of a thing? Is there any advice or anything that you could share? I mean, it's kind of putting you on the spot in a way, but you've really, I sat opposite you like a couple of years ago, and you were just getting into it then,
yeah.
and you have come out on the other side of it.
No.
So,
Stay above it. Stay above it. Don't believe in it. Deny it to some degree. Don't take no for an answer. It's like
Yeah.
there's a million ways that our body can heal itself too. Seek them out. Knowledge is power. Don't ever feel alone in your disease. There is always some support group somewhere. Get online, seek those people out, talk to them, compare notes. Because it's looking in the mirror. You got to find those people. You have to have support. It's great to have your family and friends too, but it's really important too to find people that are going through the same thing you're going through.
yeah.
So you can get real nitty-gritty with your questions, real specific, and they'll understand what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's important. And then learn those things, but find stuff to do, stay purposeful if you can. It's the hardest thing sometimes, but it's hard to keep it from being the first thing in front of your face, but you gotta put it in the back, because you gotta keep living. You gotta stay ahead of it.
And the thing that I never forgot from that night is it's not you. It's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's not you.
It's a cell. You can diminutize
Right.
it.
Make it smaller.
You know what I mean? It's like it's a cell. It's like
Right.
Going through the shrinking process with the tumor. It's like I physically, mentally shrink it before the surgery. I was every time I got on the elliptical in the morning, I would do the surgery. I would mentally do the surgery to this song, and I would see through from cutting me open, all this stuff, and I saw it through the way I wanted it to happen, the outcome I wanted, and it ended with the two surgeons high-fiving. Now, I don't know if they did that, but we got the outcome that I kept meditating on and visualized,
We got the good one. I wonder if they did high five. I should ask them.
I don't know.
But this all worked. You were active in the process of healing.
Active in healing.
Yeah.
That's exactly it. It's
Right.
important to stay active in healing.
Right.
Laughter, all those things. Laughter's big. It's important. You know, it's why I want to do more and more of it, because it's good for me. It's
Yeah.
also good for other people.
Yeah.
Because I read all about the physiological, chemical change to our body when we laugh.
When we laugh.
Yeah, now I can't recant exactly what that is right here, right now, but I read it and I went, oh my God,
Yeah.
that's math.
Yeah.
Comedy's got some math to it.
Yeah.
Now, I've never been good at math, but I've been good at comedy.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, you can change your chemical self by laughing. That's huge.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely right. And, you know, for those of you who really want to laugh, look for Mo Collins. And for those of you who really want to be riveted and not watching a man take his sunglasses off, watch Alex Skuby. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
It's a
thanks
pleasure.
for
Always
having
great
us, man.
talking
It was
to you.
fun.
It's so nice to see you,
good
and
stuff.
I can't get off this chair right now. But but this is the Self-Help Comedy Hour with Ed Crasnick. Next week, another great show. We're heard each and every week on Wrecking Ball Radio, every Thursday and Sunday night. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. I'm Ed Crasnick. Have a great week.